This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Good evening. Welcome again to another in the series, Mastering Mathematics. Program sponsored by the Ministry of Education and its EBU unit and ABS Television. Tonight, I'm only introducing the program. Elizabeth is here and she's going to take over a topic that is dear to her heart, and that is geometry. The last time I said we would have been going into function, but it makes sense that we are on lines, and of course the other area that we should be making certain that we keep the cohesion together, that you can see the relationship with the topics, is geometry. Elizabeth will be taking care of that. Later I will be coming back to tell you about the different websites that we have where you can download the examination paper. Yes, the site is up. Yes, we are on YouTube. We have put up some new ones, and we have our email. So there is nothing to prevent you from getting prepared for that examination. Our topic, and as the examination days are coming closer, we're only going to be talking mathematics. So without any further ado, and please remember to pray for those people who are sick, especially our Minister of Education. And how could we forget, every time we lose a mother, that is something for Antigua Barbuda, because our little children mean so much to us. So to the family of that deceased lady, we extend our deepest sympathy from the Ministry of Education and all in the teachers and principals in the education world. We promise that your children will not suffer, and that we would make certain that their education is not interrupted. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask Elizabeth to come to take us through the topic of geometry. Elizabeth.
Okay. Good evening, students out there. This evening we are going to look at geometry, and I'll be starting with looking at solid figures. In my hand, I have a cuboid. I know that you know what the cuboid is. I know that you know that the cuboid has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But let us look at some other facts about the cuboid. Where the faces meet, we form a straight line. A straight line is formed where the faces meet. Now, also, where these straight lines for several faces meet, look on top here, and this face, and this line, where these 3 lines meet, they form a point. The faces in this cuboid, you will notice, are not equal. Faces are rectangular. Unlike the cube, where the faces are all equal. So the cube would have also 6 faces, but in the cube, all the faces would be a square. The difference with the cube and the cuboid is that the faces of the cuboid are rectangular, and the faces of a cube, they are square. Now I'm going to show you another solid, the cylinder. I'm going to show you, this is a cylinder. Look at the faces. The faces, here we have the faces, the top, the bottom, and a circular face. A face that is going right the way around. Now on the top here, the face is circular. On the bottom, the face is circular. And the one that goes all around, we call it a curved face. where the faces meet, again, we form a line. But that line is, instead of being a straight line, it is a circle. Look at it clearly. Where the line meets with the faces, the curved face and the circular face, we have a circle. Now we are going to look at the cone. That's the little one. What you are giving. Let's look at the cone. Look at the cone. Here is a cone, very small. Here's a cone. And in the cone again we have a curved face, and we have a face here. It's open, but if we were to close it up, it would be circular. And where the faces meet, it would be circular. Right, let us look now. Now I know that you would have seen in many textbooks the net of these solid figures. But I want to particularly show you the net of a cone, because many students make a mistake with the net of the cone. Give me a pen. You got the pen?
Come here.
Good. They usually draw, it's open. They usually draw the net of the cone. They usually draw the net of the cone to look like this. Meeting like that. That is not the net of a cone. Here is what the net of the cone looks like. Miss Weston, would you hold it up?
Yes.
It's right? And
yes.
Trace it out for them. To let them see it. Just trace it so that you could see it on the board. Good?
Yes, it's going around. So it's like an apple eating a piece right down.
Yeah. That is what the net of a cone. So anytime you're asked to draw the net of a cone, that is what the net of the cone looks like. Now, anytime you're asked to draw the net of anything, I would advise you students to get a solid figure, open it out, and you will see what the net looks like. Just open it out, and then you will see exactly what the net looks like. Now, I told you that where the faces meet in the cuboid, you have a point. You have a point. And this is how we describe a point. A point, we don't put a point like that. This is how we draw a point. A point is always drawn like that. And the definition of a point is a point has position but no size. A point has position but no size. We looked at the cuboid and we saw where the faces meet, you form a line. Let us get the definition of a line. A line, it is a straight line like that, and a line has length but no breadth. A line has length but no breadth. A vertex is formed where two lines meet. Where two lines or more lines meet, you get a vertex. VRTX. Always remember that. Now let us go over what we have done. We said that a cuboid has 6 faces. A cube also has 6 faces, but the difference between the cube and the cuboid is that the faces in the cube are all square, while the faces in the cuboid are rectangular. Where the faces meet, we have a straight line. Where the straight lines meet, we have a point. In the cylinder, we have two flat faces, two circular faces, and a curved face. Again, where the faces meet, we have a circle. In the cone, where the two faces meet, we get a circle. Up here, we have another name for it. I want you to look, I'm giving you that as homework, and see what we call this point up here. Now that we have gone through it, and we've gone through the definitions, you should be able to tell what this is up here. Now we said we draw a point, and that is how we draw a point, and we said a point has position but no size. A line has length but no breadth. A vertex is where two or more lines meet.
The faces meet in cuboid, we get a point.
Yeah.
And when they meet in the cone, we get a circle. That's what you told them. Right, okay. So that was Elizabeth coming on to tell us, first of all, about the introductory part of our geometry. Now, I can take it from there, and we'll be talking about certain things, how we build up, because again, I will be giving you instruction leading to the examination. So Elizabeth has introduced us to the whole idea of our geometry. And again, you would say the smallest figure in terms of geometrical perspective would have been the point. It is from the point that we start building up and getting into what we'd have been calling, from a series of points, we'll be getting into a line. Elizabeth gave us the definition for the line, where we're saying that a line, it has length but no breadth. Now, it is when we start getting into that line that all sorts of things start coming into our brains. Because even within our primary school students, they know they have to be thinking about different types of lines. We talk about parallel straight lines. We were talking about them last week. What are parallel lines? Elizabeth, do we want to tell them, remind them again?
Whenever possible, draw a diagram. Even though you may be able to visualize the situation mentally, a hand-drawn diagram will allow you to label the picture, to add auxiliary lines, and to view the situation from different perspectives.
Let's take two lines. Two lines that go like this. They're not drawn, and I don't want them parallel. They're not parallel, right?
Nearly. So slant it a bit.
I want two lines that go like this. If we draw two lines like that, we notice that if we keep on drawing them, they're going to meet. Now, the line that cuts these two lines, this line is called a transversal. T-R-A-N-S-V-E-R-S-A-L. That line is called a transversal. And you'll notice that if you were to continue drawing those two lines, those lines will meet. Let us continue. If I draw two lines like this, and I draw two lines like that, I'm not going to cut them. Now, to your mind's eye, I don't think they will meet. If you look at them carefully, they're not going to meet. Parallel lines do not meet, and they are the same distance apart throughout their length.
We're going to make Elizabeth stop right now with the parallel lines, because what we're actually saying, we are going to bring in the practical aspect of it. And I know that you were not looking and examining the lines in your homes. Elizabeth has just told you. So we are going to send you on a mission during this break, and we are going to take you back to let you see that there are other lines that Elizabeth will point out to you. So go and look, tell us if you have found the lines that we are calling parallel lines.
Be sure that you're working in the same units of measure when performing calculations. If a problem involves inches, feet, and yards, be sure to make the appropriate conversions so that all your values are in the same unit of measure. For example, change all values to feet. When asked to show work or justify your answer, don't be lazy. Write down everything about the problem, including the work you did on your calculator. Include diagrams, calculations, equations, and explanations written in complete sentences. Now is the time to show off what you really can do with this problem.
Now, let us look at some other lines. Let us look at perpendicular lines. Now, let us take those same posts again. And they're standing upright. I'm standing upright here facing you. Now, when you look at those posts and you see that they're standing upright, they're not leaning. If they're leaning, you need to call in your mason or your carpenter right away, because they're going to lean more and more. But I know that in your home they're upright, and those upright posts, I'm standing upright here, they're called perpendicular lines. Yes, isn't that right? Good. This is the ground, and this is standing upright.
Go ahead.
It's moving. It's I have a leaning post here. I have a leaning post here.
Go ahead again.
It is surely not upright. I can see that. Oh my, this board is not good.
Go ahead, Elizabeth. Just draw it down straight.
Let's get to the middle here and draw an upright post. Well, that's better. It seems as though my hand was shaking a bit. Right? It's surely not upright.
Go ahead.
Surely not upright. But I can show you what's an upright post. You know, that is why I like my cuboid. Because if you look here, you would see that this is your post. It is upright. It is upright. And so this here is perpendicular. If I were to leave it flat, it is perpendicular. It is perpendicular to my hand here. But you're young, right? I don't know how many are my age drawing it. Get your ruler. That's what Miss Weston did not bring for me today.
Oh, here it is, right.
Bring her ruler.
Yes, it's right here. Sorry. Yes, right here.
So
here we
let's get
are.
the ruler. Let's get the ruler and
Yes.
draw an upright post.
Yes.
Good. Oh, that is much better. That is much better. Much, much better. Much, much better.
All right.
Good. And this is your floor. There is our perpendicular line. There it is perpendicular. Good. Now, I want to repeat. We started with a line and we said a line has what?
Length, but no breadth.
And there are lines that we can use in geometry. We can use what? The parallel lines and the perpendicular lines. We can also use another line that is, as I showed you before, the line that
crosses,
cut two lines, and that line is called a
transversal.
Remember those names. They'll come in handy later on, or right now as you study for your exams.
Right, so that is our first session on today that we were doing in terms of our geometry. Elizabeth has brought home to you that In terms of geometry, we're starting with a point. We have lines. These lines make cuboids, they make cubes. She has also introduced to you that we have curved surfaces, so that if you have straight line meeting, we're going to get a point. If we have curved lines meeting, we're going to get circle. Elizabeth also introduced you, sent you on a tour of your home so that you could see what we're talking about with parallel lines and where they're actually used within the environment. Also told you about perpendicular lines. Now, tomorrow, Elizabeth will take us further into other things, building on this concept that we have started with our geometry. But just as we end, we want you to pass that mathematics exams. So you can go to the website www.masteringmathematics.info. Examination papers from CXC are there, and we can start, what does Elizabeth like to say? Practicing.
Keep on practicing.
We have to keep on practicing. So right away, no excuse. You don't have to leave your homes. We told you we would have made mathematics a doorstep and a bedroom experience. And so, yes, the website is up, masteringmathematics.info. Similarly, yes, ladies, we have put up some new excerpts for our YouTube. So again, you can go to youtube.com/mastering mathematics, and you will see the lectures that you have missed. All right. And again, you can email us at masteringmathebu@gmail.com. And my phone number, 783-6971, will answer you. We in Antigua Barbuda, along with the government, we are making certain that we do everything in our power. Oh yes, I'm still waiting to get my tablet too, okay? Because the technology cannot go without Karen Weston having one, so that we can compare it and tell you exactly how our students are making effective use of it and not for devious means. Continue to visit Mastering Mathematics, the website .info, for updates will be coming, including a link, yes, a link to our Facebook page. So we are indeed preparing you for the 21st century and technology. Until tomorrow, when we will continue, Elizabeth will take you through another aspect in terms of geometry. Have a good evening. Elizabeth, what are you going to tell your audience?
Always practice. Keep on practicing.
Do remember to say a prayer for our Minister of Education and all those who are suffering and all those who are mourning, and for the nation of Antigua Barbuda. Thank you.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.